Mattyvision Sports Report with Dr. Dugan, Muggsy, and Bugsy. We're going to let Muggsy run away with the local rant, boy!
Well, I'll take it away. First, if your high school team in your day was Scranton, you had a pretty good week.
Woo!
Yeah, first, Scranton 51-21 upset over Del Valle without arguably their best player. Joe McCarthy was in Florida
Boosh!
for a baseball showcase for Major League Baseball scouts. It was a big week for Scranton, a big win for West over the weekend.
Big win for West Side over
A
the weekend.
17-15 win over Abington on a Noah Herrera field goal in the last minute.
True blue West Side!
Anytime you can beat Abington, regardless of the record. That's
anything.
Big. Yeah.
In any sport.
I concur.
And big weeks for Danny Repshis, Malcolm Sweeting, Devon Chalette as well. Danny Repshis beating his cousin, the coach for Abington.
Love Danny Rep. Big fan of Danny Rep.
Yeah, anytime you could get the best of your cousin there, Coach Repshis for Abington, that's always big. Big shout out, and I got a shout out to the Preppers. Scranton Prep upset 7-6 over Valley View. Where did that one come from? Valley View was the number one team in the area.
Good week to be from Scranton.
Yeah, Timmy, you were at that West game. I was listening to it on the radio.
That was a great game to be at. You know, you're up there in the pit, especially this time of year, the fall. It's just a beautiful setting. And you know, it was their senior day, so it was packed on their side. West brought a lot of fans up there as well. Close game, tight to the very end. It looked like Abington was gonna. West was having trouble moving the ball. It looked like Abington takes the lead, and West isn't going to be able to move the ball. They had about 2 minutes left when they got the ball, but they moved it right upfield and kicked for high school, especially.
Noah Herrera is a soccer player.
Kicked
soccer's a duel, so
it looked like a pretty tough field goal to make, and the crowd went wild.
Yeah, the picture in the paper, he got carried off the field.
Yeah, that was really exciting. It was a good game to see.
Nobody's been carried off since Rudy Rudiger.
Yeah, not since 1999. Rudy Rudiger.
There's also another big weekend for the West Siders. They're in college. Hubie's, they didn't play. They're playing on Wednesday against UConn, a nationally televised game.
Bring it, big boy!
And Matty McGloyd finally got to play the whole game against Northwestern.
Matty!
34-24 victory over Northwestern to go to 7-1 in the season. They, on top of that, leaders division in the Big Ten Conference after Michigan State's Hail Mary to beat Wisconsin.
That was insane.
Did Matty play the whole game?
Yes, Matty played the whole game.
So they said, that's it, we're going to let Matty go in one quarterback,
as
I predicted.
Yes, I believe that it's Matty's job team now for the rest of the year.
And the first game they put him in, he showed why he should be.
Every possession Matty had that first half ended with a Penn State score, including 2 touchdown passes, one to Justin Brown, and then a 56-yard pass to Davon Smith, the fastest kid on the team.
Woo! Bonus points for your fantasy teams.
Yeah, that Davon Smith is going to be someone, especially with the boy injured, who's going to be that deep threat that you need to open up your other receivers and your underneath game for passing through the air. Matt looked great. He really did. I think they scored the first 5 or 6 possessions. They had some kind of points, which for Penn State this year is a revelation.
Yep.
Huge
Scoring
passing game.
34 points for Penn State.
Northwestern a very tough offense to defend. In the second half, the line defense pitched a shutout.
Yeah, and that was big too because they were having all sorts of trouble stopping the ball in the first half.
How many passing yards did Matty have? You know?
Yeah, about 192 yards, but 160 I think were in the first half. In the second half, they kind of took it to their running game to close it out. But the big week for Matty. They're
Huge game next week.
Illinois, they're all big now. The last 4 are big. If Penn State wins those 4, they'll be in the Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis.
It's a good temperature check next week against Illinois, who they lost a shocker this week.
To Purdue.
Purdue.
We'll see what happens. It changes in the Big Ten. Sean Botman had a big game for Maine, 8 tackles.
Woo! 8 tackles,
yes,
baby.
Yes, he did.
That's a lot of work there.
23-22 victory over, I forgot who they played. I think it was I forget who they played.
That's all right, buddy. You're
Delaware State.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sean.
Fashion school.
It was a 23-22 win. They're undefeated in the conference. They're at Villanova this week. Big game in 2 weeks against Townsend. That could decide the CAA championship and the automatic berth in the FCS playoffs. And I got to give another shout out to Mr. Ian Lotz, a 2011 graduate from West. Also, he's playing for Division III Utica, if you can believe that. They're off to a 5-2 record in the Empire 8 Athletic Conference. They had their first win ever over Ithaca, up in New York State. Ian Lotz has played in 6 games. He's collected 5 tackles, 2 kick returns for 6 yards. Little shout out to Mr. Ian Lotz. I've been friends with his mother for a very long time.
Shout out to his mother.
Woo!
Yeah,
Hiya, Ma.
Mrs. Lotz.
Mrs. Lotz and Mrs. Evans, Karen Evans.
Mrs. Evans.
Yeah, so that, well, I gang the babble.
Gang the babble, man. Muggsy, gang the babble.
Bang the gavel, huh?
Listen to all you kids out there and all you parents. You got a big sports story. We're going to start looking for kids, local athletes to interview here on our show. You're going to need your parents' permission. Of course, we have waivers here on Mattyvison.com. We already have the line in the water trying to tease in Danny Repshus. We put a couple feelers out there for him, see if he wants to come on and be on the show. He is a very handsome kid, too. The chicks go crazy for this kid, let me tell you. Smart kid, too. We're a big fan of Danny Rep here. All right, this was another episode of the Sports Report. Report. Yeah,
He's speech there.
He's contagious here. You're watching Mattyvison.com. We dream big. MJ Spot, Crane Service.
We dig green.
We dig green.
Have a good